So after the campaign, which is only for 2 months, the same group of people and the whole big group of volunteers, we got hundreds or thousands of them, came up with this idea that we want to extend that idea of actually reclaiming maybe some of this unused land and underused land in Kuala Lumpur for community use. So we applied to many departments in 2013. Finally, in 2016, we got approval. That was when then the engagement happens, the town hall meetings, big meetings with NGOs, funders, people who give grants, government departments. And that lasted for about a year. And we started physical work on site in 2017, September. So now we are about 5 years. I wasn't sad, I wasn't upset. I'm doing a community service, and I'm still hopeful that the authorities will one day be part of this rather than be against us. Because I think this is good for everybody. TNB, PTG, DBKL, they should be all part of our movement to try to free up land for people to recreate in, for them to plant food in, and to educate ourselves in. So I'm still very hopeful, and in fact I'm glad that this is now surfacing, because we have actually been bullied for the last 5 years. That's what they call the sort of Damocles, was always hanging over our heads. It's extremely for us as volunteers to do work not knowing what the future is or what tomorrow will be, because of all these eviction orders and all these threats by authority to close us down. But I can tell you, one of our main problems is not with the authorities. I think the authorities are just doing their job. They do not want complaint. My main problem is with entitled residents from this area who are complaining against us. Farm has, we initially, DBKL is our collaborator. L8 Local Agenda 21 department is part of our collaborator, so is TNB. So we were given 3 parcels of land. They total up to about 8 acres. We are actively working on 1 parcel now, which is 2.5 acres. And the garden or the farm encompasses a flower garden in front here. We have a big lawn area with fruit trees and artwork, which is in the middle section with seating for people. We have a bee farm. We have a dragonfly farm because we introduced dragonfly to keep the mosquitoes in check. Then we have a section where we have a retention pond, where we have fishes in the pond. And then the majority of the middle section is the vegetable farm, where we are working with soup kitchens, we are working with orphanages, we are working with refugee groups to plant vegetables, to feed them, as well as to feed others who are less fortunate. And the last section up the hill, we have a herb garden and a grazing area for some of our animals. So education is probably the more key thing that we are doing here, including teaching people how to produce food for themselves. Not necessarily here in Kebun Bangsar, but when they go back to their community, whether they are from Imbi or they're from Pudu or wherever, that they can plant themselves. So we teach them about plant disease, we teach them about composting, we teach them about organic fertilizing, etc., etc.